And you know what you're finding out with Lonzo Ball? He was booed last night. And that is a great thing for the NBA. That is a great thing. He's a villain in every other city not named Los Angeles. He's a pick-a-side guy. Baseball doesn't have a lot of those. NBA's got LeBron's a pick-a-side guy. Westbrook's a pick-a-side guy. Lonzo Ball now, pick-a-side guy. That's an awesome thing. Warriors, pick-a-side team. Cavs, pick-a-side team. Lakers now with Lonzo, pick-a-side guy, pick-a-side team. For or against. That is a great thing. And here's the thing. There are so many guarantees in the NBA. Celtics, Cavs, Eastern Conference Finals, write it down. Warriors, going to be in the finals. 3 or 4 guys are going to battle for the MVP. But the best part about the Lonzo story, we don't know how it's going to end. Even on the play before he helped create the game winner, he took an awful three-pointer. Just an awful three-pointer. The reason the NFC in football is better than the AFC, because you got 7 quality teams, 6 could be the number 1 seed. You don't know how the NFC is going to end. I know how the AFC is going to end. Brady and Big Ben at the top. This is what's great about the NBA. Lonzo Ball story is interesting. Crazy dad, controversial brothers, college star, number 2 pick, legendary franchise, awful game, could be a bust, next game, fantastic. Here's what I know as facts. There are 4 NBA rookies all time who have averaged 8.5, 6.5, and 7. Lonzo Ball, Ben Simmons, Magic Johnson, and Oscar Robertson. That's a pretty good class. And here's what I also know. Before you call him a bust, just look at this line last night. 10 points, 8 boards, 8 assists, 3 steals, 4 blocks, no turnovers, part of the game-winning shot. That's a hell of a night. That's a really nice night, especially for a kid that just turned 20. But what the NBA does better than any other league, including really the NFL, villains, stories, storylines, pick-a-side teams, and pick-a-side guys. I'm watching that game last night. They're booing Lonzo Ball. They don't like him in Philadelphia, and they don't even know him in Philadelphia. He's got a loudmouth dad, controversy hanging over him. He's got the brothers going over to Europe or Asia to play basketball. Number 2 pick, he's going to be a bust. Magic Johnson, Lonzo, I hate him, I love him. That was great sports last night. And a really nice night for a kid who's got nothing but noise around. So last night, Lakers, Lonzo plays well against the Sixers. I was talking about with Kristine earlier in the show, is that one of the great things about the Lonzo story is you don't know how it's going to end. Like, that's why the NFC is better than the AFC. We're not sure how it's going to end. Drama. Like, I watched Lonzo last night, and it's pretty good. And I'm like, just about the time I'm ready to say he looks over his skis, he's too stoic, he's passive-aggressive. Last night he comes out, and I'm like, okay, he looked pretty good last night.
There was a lot of times, though, last night where you're like, I completely forgot he was on the floor.
Oh, yeah, no question.
But here's the I told you a couple weeks ago that he had never really been coached. That LeVar takes credit for coaching him.
Oh, good God.
But he didn't coach him to be an NBA player. And here's the last play of the game. But there were a couple things that happened. First thing, most of his points, I think all of his points, in fact, were he got the ball in transition and attacked early. They have been telling him since he got there, listen, this is the NBA, and all that advanced passing stuff, throwing the ball up to guys, like, that's great. We drafted you to be our point guard to make plays. Right. And in the first 6 seconds of a shot clock, in the last 6 seconds of a shot clock, we want you to make plays. So there's improvement there. The second point of improvement was the next to last possession, he took a deep 3.
Yeah.
And somebody about, well, that's a terrible shot. No. He knew time score, it's tie game. You wanted a 2-for-1, so you had the ball last possession of the game. He took the shot with 29 on the clock.
So he'd get it back.
So he'd get it back. It's actually the right shot. It wasn't a great shot, but that's 2-for-1. You're better off getting 2 opportunities than just 1. And the last thing is, though he was wide open, when they did steal the ball on the last possession, he knew that time score, tie game. We want to take the last shot with 3-4 seconds to go. So worst case scenario, we got a tip in, or we make it and they got 0.8 seconds to go. Would I have liked him to take over and take the ball to the hoop and get fouled, or stop and pop and be able to shoot a mid-range jump shot? Sure. But creating a wide-open shot for Brandon Ingram is pretty much what you drafted Lonzo Ball to do.
Yeah.
And the fact that he understood time and score and possession.
That's a thing.
That is a huge step. Huge step, because so many other players at this point in their career don't understand that. That's a bunch of growth. The other side to it is we're all in love with the Philadelphia 76ers because Joel Embiid is arguably the most talented skill set wise for a guy his size we've ever seen. And Ben Simmons is as good as I advertised him. But the fact is that they don't know how to win games like this.
Yeah.
That is a huge next step for Brett Brown's team.
Yeah, I watched last night. There are things, I was telling the staff this morning, some of the things Lonzo does are good, and you can't teach him if you don't have them. Length. Vision.
Yeah, he's a very good rebounder.
Yeah,
he blocked some shots last night.
He's tall. I mean, he's long. I mean, we've talked about this. If you were longer, you'd be in the NBA. The reality is his length, his vision. You say he knows the temperature in the room on the floor. The things I can work on is, and I can give you examples like Brandon Ingram. He'll get better at shooting. Brandon Ingram last year was 40, now he's 45. I can give you, he's never going to be a great shooter, but I can almost go to a rookie year to year two, the shooting thing generally gets better, does it not?
It will. Now they're going to have to make a decision. They're probably going to have to change that shot some. He's always going to regress towards this shot. But look, Ben Simmons had a year off and he still can't shoot. Okay, he didn't play last year. He still can't shoot, but Ben Simmons knows he can't shoot and drives the ball almost solely, like almost never takes jump shots. So the first thing they need to improve is his finishing package, his ability to finish around the hoop.
Yeah.
So when he drives in, you have to think he's going to score. Then his passing becomes effective. Need to change his body. Need to change his shot. And yeah, 3-pointers. But it's important to remember, we compare him to Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd was known as Asin Kidd when he got into the NBA because he had no J. Okay, he finished. Steph Curry just passed him as 8th all-time in 3-pointers made. Okay? 8th. Now, he still shot a set shot, and he was never a great shooter, but he became a guy who could make shots even though he wasn't a good shooter, and Lonzo Ball could eventually be a player like that.
This is a really good job. This will not work on radio, so I'll make it quick. I don't want to dismiss our radio audience. Here are second-year players with the greatest improvement in field goal percentage. So if your knock is Lonzo can't shoot, if you could do something poorly, that would be it. If you're not long, you ain't going to be. If you're not a good rebounder, if you don't have vision, that's DNA stuff. To have vision, you have it or you don't. Most guys that lack self-awareness, Melo, lack it 8 years later in the league. I don't think he'll ever be a great shooter, but he can shoot.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd, or go watch a few segments from the newest show on FS1, First Things First, with Chris Carter and Nick Wright.